Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Pit with another episode of What Are We Eating? Today we're going over the 18-ounce Innovation vegetable fried rice, which is authentic long grain rice with carrot, edamame, red bell pepper, onion, and egg that costs $3.97. Not a bad price for 18 ounces of food, even though it's basically rice. But when we're done reviewing the Innovation vegetable fried rice that costs $3.97, I'm going to show you, the people, how to make homemade vegetable fried rice that'll feed your family and more, that's less expensive, and I'm going to assume better than the frozen fried rice. Out of 336 reviews, the Innovation vegetable fried rice received 3.7 stars out of 5. Now here's a pretty short list of ingredients. There's 3 1-cup servings per container. Each serving has 250 calories, 4 grams of total fat, no saturated fat, no trans fat, 10 milligrams of cholesterol, 530 milligrams of sodium, 50 grams of carbohydrates, 1 gram of fiber, 5 grams of sugars, and 6 grams of protein. Here's our Innovation vegetable fried rice right out of the freezer and right out of the box. And now we're going to heat it up according to the directions on the package. And you can either do it in the microwave or the skillet. I'm going to take the easy route and do it in the microwave. Now here's our Innovation vegetable fried rice after microwaving on high for 5 minutes. Now carefully cut open the bag to avoid the steam and then pour it out on a plate. And that's it. And it actually doesn't look that bad at all, except for the edamame. I'm not a fan of soybeans. So after giving it a good mix, we got a big old spoonful and then into the old pie hole and down the gullet it went. First of all, the rice was cooked perfectly. It wasn't mushy or soggy. It was nice and dry like fried rice should be. But man, this rice was bland. They forgot to add flavor. And the egg was just that simple processed egg that had absolutely no flavor to it. However, the vegetables were cooked very good. And I liked the carrots, I liked the bell peppers, but I did not like the edamame. But that's a personal thing, which doesn't make the rice good or bad. If you like edamame, you'll like this rice. The rice wasn't great, it wasn't bad, it was okay. About average, so it gets a 5 out of 10. Now, let me show you how to make vegetable fried rice at home that's less expensive and better than the frozen fried rice. So let's get started by cooking our rice. Add 1 pound of white rice, which is about 2.5 cups of rice. Then add 5 cups of water. Turn the heat to high. Bring to a boil. Then reduce the heat to medium-low, cover, and cook for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, give the rice a good mix, and then spread it out onto a cookie sheet, and let the rice cool, and then place it into the refrigerator uncovered for a few hours or overnight. If you want to skip this step, cook the rice the day before. Once the rice is nice and dry, we're ready to cook. So in a very large skillet over medium-high heat, add some cooking oil. If you're not using a non-stick skillet, always make sure your skillet is preheated before you add the oil. If you start with a preheated skillet and add your oil, it turns an ordinary skillet into a non-stick skillet. I know some of you are already cringing and saying that's a whole lot of oil, but it's the only oil that's going to be used in this meal. And broken down between a whole lot of servings in this dish, it's not really a whole lot of oil. Now if you don't have oil or you don't want to use oil, you could use leftover bacon grease, lard, butter, cooking spray, or nothing at all if you have a good nonstick pan. Here's a little tip for free cooking fat. When you trim excess fat off of meats or remove skin from chicken, throw them into a Ziploc bag into the freezer. Then when you need some fat, throw a couple pieces of the fat or skin into your skillet over medium heat and let the pieces of fat heat up and render. Then either remove the pieces of fat or leave them in depending on what you're cooking. By the way, the rendered chicken fat is called schmaltz, which is mostly used in Jewish cuisine. And it's absolutely delicious. Now using the most advanced temperature measuring device you can find, See if your oil is ready. If the oil bubbles around the chopstick, the oil is ready. Once your oil is up to temperature, add 1 dozen large scrambled eggs. And it's extremely important that only 10 of the 12 eggs are beaten like they stole your lunch money. Then season the eggs with salt, pepper, granulated garlic, and granulated onion. But like I said in the beginning of the video, and you can add whatever seasonings you like or what you have on hand. Once you have your eggs seasoned the way you want them, nonchalantly break the other 2 egg yolks that you missed when you initially beat the eggs, and try your best to make it look like that's what you meant to do. Then let the eggs cook for about 30 seconds. And then after 30 seconds, add a 12-ounce bag of frozen mixed vegetables, or any other vegetables or beans that you like or have on hand, fresh, canned, or frozen. At this point, you can search through your refrigerator to see if there's any leftover chicken, pork, beef, seafood, or tofu. Tofu? I guess if that's your thing, it'll work. Now give it all a real good mix. Then let the eggs sit and cook for another 30 seconds or so. Then stir again and repeat this process until the eggs are set. Once the eggs are set, it's time to add our dry rice. And while mixing everything together, break up any clumps of rice you see. Continue doing this until the rice is all broken up and heated through. And then add chopped green onion. And at this point, the fried rice is technically done, if you don't have anything else to add to it. But I had a few leftover soy sauce packets from Chinese takeout that I mixed with a bit of sugar for an Asian flair. But you don't have to add that. You can eat it as is, or you can add a little tomato sauce, barbecue sauce, can of cream soup, gravy, can of drained diced tomatoes with or without chili peppers. When you're cooking, the only thing that limits your ingredients is your imagination. Don't be afraid to experiment with food, especially when you have limited funds and ingredients. You'll be surprised with what you can come up with that actually tastes good. So if you decide to add anything else, give it a good mix until everything is well combined and heated through. Then it's time to eat. Now serve up the fried rice, or whatever you decide to call it, however you like. I simply molded the rice into a 1-cup bowl for a nice little presentation. I'll tell you what, when I first served it up, it didn't look like a lot of food. But by the time I got to the last bite, I was truly satisfied. I guess you could say that 1-cup serving of fried rice, eggs, and vegetables is a very generous serving, especially when you're on a budget. So with that said, 1 cup of uncooked rice makes 5 1-cup servings of cooked rice. So obviously, 2 cups of uncooked rice will make 10 1-cup servings. So even though we had a 1-pound bag, which actually has about 2.5 cups, but we'll just go ahead and stick with the 2 cups that makes 10 servings. If you have smaller appetites or young kids, it'll make even more servings. So for $3.90, we made enough food to make 10 servings or feed 10 people. 4 of us had this for dinner the night I made the video, then I had it for lunch the next day, and then the following day, I added some chopped up chicken that we had left over from dinner the night before, and we turned this into chicken fried rice and had it for dinner again. So this is another way to make a lot of delicious food for very little money. I really hope that this video helps at least one struggling person or one struggling family have a nice, delicious, nutritious meal or meals. But it would be even better if it helped a lot of people. Thank you all very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video with your family and friends. And I'll see you soon.